Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
Stephen.
Hello.
And Joe. How are you guys getting on?
Alright. Yeah, good mate, you?
I'm good. So Dave, start with yourself. What have you been up to recently? I know you're sort of furloughed at the moment, so what have you been doing with your furloughed time?
Loads of Xbox. Try to keep fit, going out runs, cycling on my bike, and then nothing. Redecorating the house.
What's that thing called? The spin class thing you've got now? What's it called?
Peloton.
Aye. How's the Peloton going?
It was going good. It's going good, mate. Just you gotta say arse. See the first couple of days, your arse. You feel like you've taken an absolute pounding, but after that, you kind of get used to it. Because I was going to buy shorts and like seat pads and that, but I ended up no bothering. My bottom got used to
it. What about yourself, Stephen? How are you getting on?
Still working. I think I'm the only one that's actually still out working. Just working away, mate. Got the kids and that, so fun.
So are your kids going back to nursery or anything, or are they still off until?
Oh no, they're at nursery. They're still at nursery.
Oh wait, enough. Were you being a key worker there at nursery? Aye, so.
Right, yeah, right. You clap enough, it's fine. It's quite good because obviously they're still in the routine and that, which helps. But doing away.
How have they been finding it? With not being able to see as many family members as they usually do.
No comment.
Quite difficult, I can imagine.
Yeah, very difficult. I'm sure. Yeah.
Do the Waynes even notice? Like, do they understand what's going on? I've thought this because a couple of my mates have got Waynes that are like 5-year-old, and I'm like, do they understand what's happening?
Aye, well, at the nursery and that, they get told about it, and they come home and if we're walking along the street, and they turn around and I'm like, cross the road, and they're like, oh yeah, because that woman might have coronavirus. Great, like.
Mentally changed though.
Aye, it's hectic. But no, they're quite aware of it and that, but just to a simple degree. Yeah. I mean, they know the symbol, on the news bulletins and that on BBC, when they see the wee symbol for coronavirus, they know, is that coronavirus? So
I was telling them to put toys and sand in my mouth at nursery.
I was please
don't do a shite in that sand pit. Right?
Change things, mate.
Just a wee bit.
What about yourself, Joe? How are you getting on?
Not so bad. Just started doing a job recently, so working away. Apart from that, not much else.
Aye. So you've finished up with college now, haven't you? With everything out the way.
Just about.
Aye.
When am I getting my petrol, Joe?
I know. Do we come up and ask for the Hibs Talk discount?
We'll see. I'll try not to get zapped.
So on today's show, we're going to be having a look. We're going to have a chat about the transfer window. We're going to kind of pretend things are a bit more normal. I know that everything we say on this was going to come with the caveat of, but Hibs might not be doing as much business. I'm bored of not just talking about Hibs, so let's just pretend for a wee bit that we need to strengthen in the window and the window's going to be normal. So we're going to have a chat about that today. Go have and follow on with that with some of the youth players that could maybe step up with us limited in the window. And I also thought we could have, just because I know we've talked about it to death and it's getting a bit ridiculous now, but league reconstruction. So guys, I'll put it out to you guys. Do you want to talk about it now and get out of the way, or just put it at the end? When do you want to talk about it?
What are we basing the conversation around? Is it Hearts gone down? If so, we'll talk about it now.
We'll get out of the way then. So the latest propositions, what is it, 14, 14, 18 or 14, 14, 14, 18? I don't care anymore. I'm losing.
Fuck knows, mate, because they change it all the time.
But unsurprisingly, Hearts have came out and backed this new proposal because it would save them. And so, Stephen, starting with yourself, what's your thought of Colts teams going into the what are the 18?
Absolutely ridiculous. There's teams in lower league divisions that have been sitting there waiting to get an opportunity to get into the SPFL, and to put Colts teams ahead of that is ridiculous, especially just to benefit Rangers and Celtic. The thing is, like, I mean, you look at the Spanish leagues, and obviously, like Madrid, Barcelona, a couple of other teams have got like C teams or B teams or whatever the fuck it is, and they can't get promoted past like Serie B. Serie B, fucking hell, League B.
We've jumped over to Italy now.
I know. But like they can't get past the second division, so it just seems as though it's completely pointless to me. But I don't know. You're all for it, Gav. You were pushing Hibs to get a Colts team. So, what's your opinion?
Where is this? I will get to that. Dave, what's with the? There has been talk, though, financially it could benefit teams in that league. It would talk of Rangers and Celtic buying 750 tickets per game that would be unallocated. So, let's say then they could still sell as many tickets as they could on top of that, but that guaranteed income every game. So, surely from a financial aspect, teams in that league would be interested in it.
No, like I can't see it. Like when we had the under-20s team, how many Hibs fans went along to an under-20s game? A few, like maybe 5, 6, a few. So,
Dave, what do you think of the idea of the financial support from Celtic and Rangers for the league?
I wouldn't pander to them because that's what I think it's doing. It's helping, obviously, strengthen them. They can come out and say they're going to give so many tickets to lower league clubs, fine, but is that going to stop the teams in League 2 get promoted? Because the Colt teams can go up, can't they? They just can't go up past, they can't go to the Championship, but they can still go from League 2 up. Yeah?
I think so.
Well, there would be a League 2 if they did the reconstruction, because it's 14, 14, 18.
All right,
so they'd literally go up one league out of 3.
Can they even go into the second tier though? I didn't even know if they could. I've lost count how many tiers there was meant to be, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, like I say, it's changed that many times and I'm just not interested. But Colt teams, I just don't think they should be a thing. I think for a point of view is, see if I was a Elgin fan, like I'd much rather go and have a run-in against like a team that's coming to play you and that's meant to be in your league, like genuine like fans that are passionate and that, rather than having just folk that are just Rangers fans coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather play like a competitive game against teams that are all fighting for the same thing, no just being a feeder.
And Joe, I mean, like, say, if it was to go ahead, like, say, I think, can you see, I mean, I can sort of say your views on it as well, and whether you think it'd be a good idea, but it seems these guys would be against it. If it was to go ahead, do you think they would even entertain the possibility of the likes of, Hibs have stated that they're ambitious and they want to progress as a club. Aberdeen, Dundee United have got a lot of money behind them. Do you think there'd be an opportunity for those 3 clubs to introduce Colt teams as well to the lower leagues, or do you think it'd be exclusively to the Old Firm?
Well, first of all, I think the idea of Colt teams, it kind of eradicates the loan system a bit for lower league clubs. Mainly because you see like Rangers, Celtic, Hibs players, they always go down to like League 2 and League 1 on the loan system. So I think it kind of eradicates the loan system when Colt teams are introduced. Apart from that, I think Celtic and Rangers would only have the Colt teams. Like I can't see Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, even Dundee United because they've got funds now. But I can't see it happening for any other clubs.
Yeah. So overall, just another ridiculous league reconstruction. It's like
it's all based around Old Firm.
Yeah.
Where does it stop? Like what Joe saying, it wouldn't go past Old Firm, but if it did, where would it stop? And at what point would that then restrict the other teams in those leagues from progressing? It's just ridiculous.
And there's been a lot of talk about whether it would help. It would be good for the Scottish game in terms of like players, progressing and things like that. But to me, if you put a bunch of young players together. Yes, playing against men would help them, but the best thing, like say, what Joe sort of mentioned about the loans, the best thing for their development is going on and playing beside men and having, somebody talk them through the game, and rather than being, beside another 17-year-old and playing against older players. No, like say, the loan system, yes, it's got its flaws, but it's a lot better than just chucking Colt teams down and hoping for the best. So yeah, I think we can all agree that was maybe another nuisance thing. On you go, Dave.
People are good. Like you've just said to the now, like it's good. It could be good for like young players and progressing and that, right? The problem with young players not progressing in this country is probably through the teams not been brave enough. You look at Rangers this year, for example, are going to spend how much trying to stop Celtic 110? They could bleed through some young players, but they won't because there's too much at risk. There's far too high a level of risk, so that they'll stop them doing it because they're not brave enough.
Yeah, aye, definitely. It's and it's just another one, like say Hearts jumping on the bandwagon with it now, desperate for it to. It's just Hearts are like that bit of shit on your shoe that you can't get off. There's no puddles to kind of wash it off. You've got a stick, you're trying to escape off, and you can't get off. Just the shit on the shoe that wouldn't leave. It just,
yep.
Aye. So, I mean, do you think, like, say, are we ever going to see Hearts relegated, or are they going to get away out of it quickly, final on this, before we'll start talking about Hibs?
Absolutely convinced they're going to get away with it, because I've ran my mouth that much and been singing songs, and that's what happens.
Dancing on Zoom calls.
Yeah, I've done a bit of that. But it's probably going to end in tears and they'll stay up.
Aye. Stephen, quickly, your thoughts? Are they going to go down?
Nah, definitely going down, like.
So let's transition to more of a Hibs topic now. So before we get on with the transfer talk, by the way, I know there's been a lot of talk. I seen on Twitter, Canberry and all back to training and stuff. Look, we've spent enough time on this podcast talking about Canberry. The guy is going to be gone, and let's be glad to see the back of him. So one of the things I've been talking about, though, like I say, so a potential return to football. Hibs and Hearts consider Scottish Rugby Murrayfield offer. Joe, what's your kind of thoughts on this? I know you kind of enjoy your rugby as well. So what's your kind of thoughts been on this in regards to potentially social distancing and being in a biosafe site like the stadium? I know they've been talking about using it for training and that, but potentially with hosting crowds as well. What's your kind of thoughts on that?
Of course, so I've been to Murrayfield a few times for football and for rugby. My thoughts on it, football being there, I'm not the biggest fan. Obviously, Gav, you went to the Liverpool game, Liverpool-Napoli, and it wasn't the best for football. But of course you did. But it's the best solution they can find now, with Hearts and Hibs stadiums being like they can't have social distancing in there. I think when you have a 67,000 seater stadium in Edinburgh, then you have to use it.
Yeah. Dave, Stephen, quickly, just your thoughts on this. Would you rather? I mean, obviously we're desperate to get back and see Hibs. What's your kind of views? Would you rather go back and just have some sort of Hibs, even if it is socially distant and you're sort of spread out from everybody, 8,000 people in a 60,000 seater stadium spread out, or would you rather just wait and be properly back? Dave, start me.
It's better than nothing, mate. I'd take it.
Stephen?
See, I think it would be good just to get the Scottish Cup out of the way. Just use for the season ticket holders from last season to allow them to watch the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. Get that played, yeah. and then I would just leave it for next season.
Yeah. Aye, but like I said,
you can't just cap the season tickets at the 8,000 that we've already got, saying that these 8,000 folk were first so they can go to the games as well.
Yeah, aye. But it's like I say, it's good to see that they're exploring options and they're talking about different things, so we'll kind of follow up that one further down the line. So let's talk about the transfer window. As I said at the start of the podcast, we're going to pretend like as if there's this a bit more of a normal transfer window that, I know things might be a bit more limited because of finances and stuff because of the way things have been going, but let's just talk about the squad, see what we think we need. So, Dave, start with yourself. What position first comes to your mind when I say, what do we need this summer?
First comes to my mind is probably left back.
Do you want to expand on that?
No, I'm
so,
alright.
So why?
Well, Stevenson, who's I think he's needing a challenge. He's probably, everybody hates slating Lewis Stevenson, so I'm not going to slate him. I'm just going to say I think that we can get a stronger left back now. Mackey is obviously came back from Dundee. Do I think Mackey's good enough? It was debatable before he got absolutely hung out to dry by Hibs before, after his mistake at Ibrox. And then he went to Dundee, played 13 times for them, and didn't do very well. Got a bit of stick at the start of his time at Dundee, and then obviously got himself injured. So it's again debatable. If we're wanting to challenge for your third and fourth spots, I think we need better at left back than Stevenson and Mackey.
Stephen, what was your starting off with left back then? I mean, I know you were quite a fan of Mackey. Is he somebody you'd like to see come in and get an opportunity and maybe sort of try and push Stevenson out of the team, or would you rather we brought somebody else in?
No, I think we need to bring somebody else in, a left wing back preferably, ex-Celtic player, ex-Aberdeen player. To be honest, if we get Johnny Hayes, like free agent, that would probably be the dream signing in the current circumstances for Hibs. He's a utility player, can play on the wing, can play left wing back, can play left back. It's what we need. And then obviously with Mackey coming back, I think he could push Stevenson for the bench. I think he's got another two years on his contract, I think. So, I mean, there's still time for him to improve, and I think this will probably be, says it about McGregor last season, I think it'll probably be his last, like Stevenson's last full season in and around the first team.
Yeah. So, I mean, Joe, one name that's sort of not been mentioned there when we're talking about left back, I know he could play right back as well. A new signing last summer we were quite excited about. Fair to say, didn't have a good first season. Could there be an opportunity for James to get a second chance?
I think that he needs minutes more than anything. Like if that comes in development games, which I know he's played a few of, or first team minutes like at the end of the games, I think he needs minutes in his legs before he even gets a chance at starting. But I think Mackey has more of a chance than James, or if we bring Hayes in, like Stephen said, it could probably benefit us more than bringing James in at left back.
We should really have like a Colts team for that type of thing.
Stephen, what about yourself? So we'll talk about left back. What's the next position which comes to your mind that needs to be strengthened in the window?
I don't know. Striker. That's what we need. Somebody that's better than McNulty. Somebody that's better than Deutsch.
McNulty who got McNulty who got a goal every other game in both spells at Hibs. Okay,
everyone,
three of them came in
one game against the other game. We didn't want him, so we can definitely do better than McNulty. That's just my opinion, but I think we just need to look and see. Like I hear that Balotelli might be getting left through pressure, so.
So I mean, Dave Stevens been a bit sort of saying that he feels that we could do better than McNulty. Would you agree with that, or would you say? I mean, and what did you make of McNulty and Deutsch as a partnership when you seen them?
Yeah, they're all right. It's just that thing. I think that when I look at a lot of the players in the squad now, I'm like, he's all right. He could do a job, and that he'll probably finish mid-table. That's where we finish. So I think if we want to improve, we need better than what we had last season. And McNulty was all right, but I definitely think we can do better. We need to.
Stephen's run away. Let's talk about him. So like sort of time's running up 10 minutes currently, so I may have to restart another one. So that's Zoom for behind the scenes. Joe, like I say, Dave's sort of feeling that we need to do better than McNulty, and like say accepting like mediocrity was kind of why we're kind of end up in mid-table every season. Do you feel that? What did you think of McNulty's time at Hibs?
I think McNulty screams mid-table, to be honest. I think if you want to get anywhere, we have to go for like a main striker that's partner Deutsch. I think that guy is Kevin Naismith that we went for last year. Or was it? No, it was January, wasn't it?
January, yeah.
It's been so long, so Nisbet, yeah, I think we need to go for him over Dundee United because I know they're going to get him if they're the only bidder.
What do you guys know about Nisbet? I know he scored goals, but I've never seen him play. Do you know what kind of type of forward he is at all? Does anybody know?
Not a clue.
Barely seen him either, but
I've heard he's good.
If he's back in, then I'd be quite happy to take him.
My problem with McNulty and Doige as a partnership was they both like to be in the box. They both like to be, in the 6-yard box scoring goals, or sort of, the reason. I know a lot of people call them lazy and stuff, but I don't want to talk about him too much. But Flo worked with Doige because he would drift out wide. He would come deep for the ball. He'd make runs from deep with the ball. I think we need somebody that's going to do that to partner Doige, rather than somebody that's also going to be just wanting to be in the 6-yard box and a poacher like McNulty was. I don't think that partnership got the best out of somebody. So I know sort of we mentioned Nisbet there. Another potential forward could already be there though. Dave, could we see Martin Boyle transition to a striker more full-time next season?
Well, it would kind of answer your worry about, obviously, somebody drifting off Doige, because Boyle's definitely that type of player that maybe fall a wee bit deeper to bring the ball and then pull the team up the pitch. But I prefer him in the wing because you get more space to run at players and balls at the top, like diagonals and that. Especially if Hanlon and that's playing at the back, they love a diagonal if they're not passing it directly to the side of them. So it'd be a wee bit an odd one to take Boyle away for the wing for me. Like,
we have been linked to a lot of wingers, so like I say, we'll come back to that in a second. But Joe, what's your kind of thoughts on Boyle as a forward?
I don't mind him. He's found his shooting form in when we last played games. I prefer him as a winger, to be honest, or in that centre mid role when we played in a diamond. I preferred him there. But apart from that, I think Gullen is going to partner Doige next season.
Wow. And Stephen, like I say, I know you're a big fan of the 3-5-2 and you like seeing Boyle at right wing back. Do you feel we'd lose something? Like say even when he played centre mid and also when he played wing back, he was good at getting us up the pitch. Do you feel that's something we'd lose if he was up top?
Yeah, well, I think obviously I was going to say if David Gray came back, then we could have had him back as a wing back. But I think we do need to invest in another striker. You can't just have two strikers in your squad with Boyle coming up every now and then. I suppose like Ryan Fraser is now on a free as well, so we could get him and replace Boyle. But, no, I'm only messing. I think like Stephen Dobby's still scoring goals. He knows Hibs.
He does. I remember watching his goal the other day. His assist for Gary O'Connor's goal in the last minute. We had 10 men against Hearts. So, fun.
Stephen Dobby about a year contract.
Ooh.
Dave's fave.
So, Joe, over yourself now. What position first comes to your mind when you think, right, we need to do something about this in the summer?
Well, it was left back, but that's already been covered today. So, I hate to say it, but right back, because I'm not sure McGinn is the best choice. We could have had Naismith. Obviously, he was injured, and I don't think McGinn would have been brought in if he wasn't. So I think we need Naismith or someone like him to push us up the park next season.
Yeah, I mean, McGinn came in, played a few games at right back, but then, of course, the change in formation happened, so he was kind of moved over to right centre back. Dave, what was your kind of thoughts on McGinn?
So I thought he was solid. I didn't mind him at all. Kind of similar tackling style to like John McGinn, and he probably wasn't the best going forward, but I'm not bothered about that particularly. If the defenders defend first, then that's fine. I thought he was alright.
So somebody we saw, like say we sort of mentioned there was Naismith. So I mean, we'll have a quick chat about the loan signings then, and if there's a potentially any of them coming back. Starting with Naismith, Stephen, what was your kind of thoughts on him, and do you think we could see him back at Hibs?
Yeah, I think he's probably the one loan signing that I would take back. I would take him before Omeonga and McNulty, 100%.
Wow.
I just think he offered so much more, and it was a position that we were really struggling in beforehand, because obviously that's how, when he got injured, that's why Boyle fell back. Naismith's got the ability to push up as a wing back as well. I think he done all right in a couple of games pushing up the park. He got that goal as well. So no, it'd be good. It'd be good to have him back, and I think he's obviously keen to come back. So if there was any chance of making that work, that should be a priority. But it would need to be a permanent signing. I think that this is a season where we've got to start again, and I would be looking at permanent signings rather than loan signings now.
Fair enough. Dave, I know there was originally a lot of talk of McNulty coming back in the summer with his loan deal getting terminated, and we were able to get him in on a loan 6 months earlier than sort of planned. Do you think that's something Hibs will revisit, either another loan or a permanent one for Stefan Omeonga?
I think we might actually try and sign him. I could see that happening. I didn't know if we'd have much competition because he's not played that much football. So he'd maybe have another couple of options that would be more risky than Hibs. So I would probably have more of a chance of him coming to us and choosing to come to us if obviously the deal was right.
And I mean, I know it was only 2 months compared to the 6 months or 5 months, whatever it was, he had last season. But Joe, I think it's fair to say, he didn't hit the hikes he did in his first loan spell at Hibs, Omeonga.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that his goal against Inverness was pretty good. But apart from that, it wasn't memorable performances that you could pick out. I think if you give him a run of games next season, he would have one of those memorable performances again. But apart from that, it wasn't. It was 6s and 7s each week.
So, Dave, I guess the last loan signing we'd have to talk about then would be Docherty. Any chance we can get him back from Rangers? I think he was probably the loan signing that the ones we're talking about that kind of done the best, with the exception of maybe Naismith. Is there any chance we could do business with Rangers to get him back?
No chance. Next to no chance for me. Just don't think it'll happen. I think he'd rather down south, and just the way he said he's like buying that, like he was respectful on that, but he didn't make it sound like it was even a possibility they'd be coming back.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Stephen, any chance?
No, I'm the same. 100% no.
So next question, I guess, would be: do we need to then look to bring somebody like that into the midfield over the window? Somebody that can get us forward like that. Have a good driving force for the midfield. Joe, starting with yourself, do you think that's a position we now need to look at if we can't get Docherty?
I think so. Apart from Hallberg, you've not really got anyone in that position. So I think we probably do need to have someone in that position to challenge Hallberg.
Gav?
Sorry, my video's cut off. I'm back. Hello. But yeah, Hallberg, like I say, we've seen Hallberg play in a more deeper role last season. Joe, do you feel we could see him utilised further forward in the pitch?
I think we've seen before he joined the club that he can play that higher role, so I think we might.
Yeah. So, what about yourself, Dave? What do you think of Hallberg's first season? Like, say, kind of fell at the team with when Jack Ross sort of came in.
Yeah, but I think he's probably good enough to take an opportunity, especially with everything that's gone on. We might not be able to bring in the players that would maybe have tried to, but so I think he's definitely good enough to have a chance because I really liked him.
Yeah.
Centre midfield is probably the least of our worries.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Aye, like you've got Allen, you've got Stevie Malin, who everybody kind of forgot about at one point. You've got Hallberg, Newell, like Fraser Murray can come back in. There's quite a few options there, and that's without even really dipping into the development team. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, like say, you mentioned a few central midfielders there, but a position we were crying out for last summer, and it's a year later, we're still waiting for Stephen Sutton yourself. I mean, Mark McKenzie on Twitter saying here, new number one and a couple of wingers, and he's put holding midfielder, obviously. And then, like I say, Bruce has also said about it's all about the formation for me. This is why I'm coming to you. If 3-5-2, then left wing back Hayes and another centre forward, a holding central midfielder would allow Allen and Mallon types to push further on. So, Stephen, do you think we need a holding midfielder?
To be honest, and I made this point last season, was the fact that we don't really need a holding midfielder if they want to play like proper attacking football. It's not Hecky football anymore, where we were relying on a defensive midfielder. You look at under Stubbs, we never had a defensive midfielder there when we had Henderson, McGeoch, McGinn, Allen. That was our like four main central midfielders, and I can't see any of them as a definite defensive midfielder.
But during that time under Stubbs, did we not rely on bringing Bartley into the team for the big games, for teams, the cup games against Premiership teams and things like that?
But we saw players. I suppose now that we've lost Whittaker as well, that was a big blow. Because the thing is, like, Whittaker came in and done a good job as a defensive midfielder against Celtic, against Hearts. Like, big games, Whittaker stepped up. And, I mean, if we've got Porteous in, I think, we could afford maybe to push Hanlon up to defensive midfielder.
a bit in his late in his career for crazy ideas like that. Personally,
I genuinely don't think that we need a defensive midfielder anymore. I think that we're playing a lot more attacking football than we were under Hecky, and I think we're less reliant on it as long as we play attacking football. If we had another like class player like Docherty come in, then that would push us up the park. I think the fact that there's been this break, Mallon's come back from an injury as well. He's got a lot to prove.
Yeah. Dave, what's your thoughts on the central defensive midfielder position?
Yeah, well, I've just said centre midfield's probably fine, but if you are talking about the defence, that position obviously is like open. Let's say we could definitely be down with somebody like that, with a bit more of a bite and to push us forward. But I don't know if it'll happen on everyone else. I think there's probably more important positions like you're saying, like wingers. Like we have only got Boyle on one side, and on the other side we've got Newell that can play, but I didn't like him on the left, and we've got Horgan who is inconsistent. So I think they two are bigger problems. Like another strikers are a bigger problem. Left backs, centre backs. You've got Dazin, Hanlon, Jackson and Porteous, but as Daz and Hanlon, they've not exactly been playing. Obviously McGregor was injured a lot. Hanlon, I'm just going on a rant now. There's just more a day than just like a number two goalkeeper. Are we going to stick with Dabrowski? If we are, then fair enough. But if no, we did a number two goalkeeper as well.
Yeah. So
if you're going to be paying everybody else, if you're going to be paying everybody the, what was it called? Their full wages before we're recruiting, and then you're going to recruit the gaps. I think one of the last gaps that will get filled probably centre midfield. Yeah,
and I think, like say, you mentioned about McGregor and like say, as much as we love Dan, we also talked about David Gray earlier on. The two of them have missed a lot of football in the last few years. They're now a year older, so relying on them is going to be harder because, like say, you can't rely on people that have been injured that much. As much as we love them, as great as they are, as much as Joe's got them, McGregor is this displaced picture on Zoom because his camera's broken. We love the guys, but they've been injured too much, so it's hard to rely on them. Joe, what's your kind of thoughts with that, with their injury history over the last sort of few years?
In the group chat we make jokes about it often, like Gray, if she has a bad challenge and he's out for the year. And that's why I had to bring Naismith in the beginning. He only gets minutes when player's injured, so I don't see the point in having him. I suppose for the next year he's alright, but he'll move into a coaching role soon.
The thing that I think they do bring when they are fit, though, is like, especially David Gray, is, and obviously this is going to be different if games are getting played behind closed doors, but the amount of times where the crowd would start to go quiet or the crowd would start to turn a bit because the game isn't going our way, and David Gray would go crunching into somebody more than he needed to, the crowd would get up off their feet, and it would help turn a game round from a mentality point of view, and all he's done is put in a crunching tackle.
I don't know. I don't think Andy's got a problem with David Gray if David Gray is playing.
Yeah.
But if he's not playing, injured, then.
So I think we saw at the end of last season, though, like when Gray was playing, like he wasn't able to get that extra yard on defender, like on attacking midfielders and stuff that he used to have. Like if he was pushing anywhere up, like near the halfway line, you were always thinking that he was going to get beat at the back.
So let's have a look. So, like I say, I know Dave, you sort of mentioned about sort of this earlier about people that have kind of left and stuff. So, I mean, I've just wrote a list down here quickly. I might be missing somebody. I've got Omeonga, McNulty, Hallberg, Naismith, Slivka, Whitaker, Bogdan. I've run out of fingers, so 7 people have left. Sorry, what did I say? Omeonga, McNulty, Hallberg. No, why am I putting Hallberg twice? What's the one? Docherty. We must have been talking about Hallberg. Aye, sorry. Omeonga, McNulty, Docherty, Naismith, Slivka, Whitaker, Bogdan. Have I missed anybody that's left? So that's the squad, 7 later than it was on the 1st of February. You know, we can't be, you know, are we really going to be that quiet in this window when that's 7 bodies down?
When you look at our development team, I don't think we can afford to be that quiet because there's quite a few names there that you're like, are they completely ready to step up? I don't know. Like, I've not seen them as much, but you're going to be taking quite a punt, like.
But like I say, I know it's a bit frustrating because we've kind of been through a transition season, but Stephen, could this be, because of the certain circumstances and stuff, be a transition season and a lot of these youngsters be like, right, this is an opportunity you necessarily weren't going to get, take it now, or you're away next summer?
Well, I mean, we had this discussion a couple of days ago, and it was the fact that, like, we've always seen Hibs in recent years with this policy that they'll only bleed through like 1 or 2 youth players a season. Players that are in the development squad just now, I would see Dabrowski coming up. I think that he should be the number 2 because, like, you look back at how long it's been since we had somebody come through our like development squad into the first team. And you're going back as far maybe as Andy McNeil that had a proper run in the team. And when he did, he was Scotland under-21s captain. Like, fair enough, his career like plummeted after he left us. But you do look at it in that perspective. I would like promote Dabrowski up to number 2, see how it goes until halfway through the season. If we're struggling, maybe look at getting somebody in then. I think obviously you've got like Ennis Murray, Fraser Murray, both of them capable of stepping up to the first team.
So let's go through a few of them. You've jumped ahead, Stephen. So Joe, starting with yourself, let's with Dabrowski, is it fair to say, like, you know, a number 2 goalkeeper, you know, we've seen Bogdan didn't even make an appearance. Have we got such a steady pair of hands in Marciano that, you know, who loves it at Hibs, who is our number 1? Could we rely on Marciano and quite happily have a youngster take up the number 2 jersey? Well, number 2, but the second goalkeeper jersey.
I think you could actually, but it depends if Marciano's on form next season. It does show dips in form at the start of the season, or if there's been like a bit of a break. So you could see Dabrowski being number 1 at some points, but whether he's ready to take that step, we'll soon find out.
And another name, like I say, that Dave, you mentioned earlier on, can play central midfield, can play on the wing. Wingers have been linked with a lot of the last sort of few weeks. Fraser Murray, what's next for him? Like I say, is this like does this need to be the season where he breaks through, or it's just not going to happen at Hibs? Another Scott Martin potentially.
Scott Martin breaks my heart. The boy should have stayed. Telling you, wouldn't it surprise me if we sign him? Maybe not this season, but like in 1 or 2 years' time, I don't think he's better than Hamilton. Like, Definitely. But anyway, different story. I really liked Scott Martin for folk that didn't ken. But Murray's definitely got to take the chance that he gets this season, because otherwise I just think he's just hindering himself if he doesn't. He's not playing enough games this season. Even for himself, he'd be better going.
And one that the people that we speak to that go to a lot of the development games or the reserve games, things like that, Stephen, they always go on about Tommy Block and how, he could be a real solution at the defence midfield position. Should we start, giving players like Tommy Block opportunities, especially, like, say, if it's going to be a different atmosphere, it's going to be behind closed doors, there's going to be less pressure on them if they make a mistake, there's not going to be fans on their back straight away. Could there be opportunities for players like Tommy Block to kind of come in and potentially make it at Hibs?
Well, with a surname like that, you'd expect him to be a good defender, But I think that it is a season where we've got an opportunity to bring 5 or 6 players up from the development squad into the first team. And I think that it would be fair to give him a shot. Who is it, by the way, that's in the group chat that's got to go? Antes is like to have a game in the first team for him.
Oh, that's me.
Is it you? Right, okay, well, we'll not have him, he could just go. But no, there are a few. Like I say, Ennis Murray's another one that I would bring up into the first team. But Tommy Block, everybody's raving about him. I've not seen much of him, so I couldn't give an honest opinion. But if he's that good that people are talking about him and he's not even with us, then fair play.
So, Joe, any other youngsters that come to mind to think, right, okay, because of the circumstances, because we're going to be finding it difficult to do business this window, I'd like to see this young player come through and sort of prove that they're actually got the prospect that people have been talking about them. Is there anybody that comes to mind with yourself?
The main one for me is Block, but also I think for Fraser Murray it's his last chance to really prove himself. We've been hearing for years that he's this next big youth prospect, but he hasn't shown it in games. So I think he has to be that player that comes in and puts in some decent performances, or he's pretty much finished.
So I guess the next question would be, this would be for everybody. What would you think if Hibs say, look, this has hit us financially, we don't want to kind of push ourselves back, we're only going to sign 1 or 2 players and we're going to, we usually bleed in youngsters, but there's going to be 7 youngsters that are put into the first team squad. It might be a transitional season, it might be a difficult season at times, but we're going to bleed in these youngsters and give them the opportunity, and that's what next season is going to be. What would your guys' thoughts be on that?
I would take it. Personally, I would take it because it just reminds you back to like 2004, 2005, Thompson, Brown, rather than all of the players in our first team. If we give players a chance, it gives them all a chance to step up and prove that they should be at the club. But whether all of them will play, I don't know.
I think fans enjoy it, don't they? Yeah. Like seeing young players come through, like development players and that, and you feel more attached to them for the off, and they probably get maybe a chance than a new signing. Like a new signing, you maybe jump on their back a bit more. So
yeah, I mean, you see that when Porteous got sent off against Kilmarnock, you've seen that, because he's a young player that came through, shows that passion. He was, the fans weren't as harsh on him when he got sent off in the dying minutes of a cup game.
Yeah, I was
cheering him. So yeah, so there's definitely an opportunity for that. So like I say, just about a chat about the transfer window. Let us know either wherever if you're watching this on YouTube or on if you get the links on highbeesbouncer.net or Twitter and Facebook. Let us know what you think Hibs need this window. So finish up, guys. What you guys plan for the rest of the week? Dave, start with yourself.
This week, the same as the last 12. Just surviving, mate. Just get through it. Look forward to the next week. A week closer to being at the end. I've nothing more for you. Nothing exciting, unfortunately.
I have to be honest about this morning. Like I've been working from home for about 2.5 weeks now, and I've been doing the whole thing of you get up and you get showered and you get dressed so you're ready to go. I started at 9 this morning, and I'm not going to lie, I got out of bed at about 8:47 and just pulled on some jeans and just sat at my desk. This is getting quite dangerous working from home, so anybody else working from home will kind of testify to that. But yeah, so Stephen, what you got planned for this week?
Working, and then kid's birthday on Friday, so but I'm working that, so I'll probably do something with them on Saturday if the weather's alright. I think that's my plan.
So I thought we could just Joe, what were yourself? What you got planned for this week? Just finally, you're working much?
Just working, nothing exciting.
Yeah. So I thought we could just sort of finish up briefly talking. I know we're gonna frustrated the football's no back, but with the Premier League's coming back, I don't know if you've been watching much of the German football, but Premier League's coming back. Dave, starting yourself excited about football? At least some sort of football coming back on the TV.
Yeah, kind of not bored about English football.
I know you're not.
Not a big fan of it. I think it's overhyped and it bores the life out of me. But again, sorry, I've not got anything else for you. Okay. I'm excited to see Super John.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as far as my excitement will go. I hope they do well, and hope Liverpool will lose every single game in the but it's not going to happen. So,
Stephen, what you're an Arsenal fan. So, what's your kind of thoughts for the rest of the season with Arsenal? Is it just sort of seeing it out, or do you think top four is a real possibility?
Well, technically, I need them to finish within 24 points of Liverpool. So, I need them to pretty much win every single game and Liverpool to lose every game to win my bet. But nah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I've not got much hope for this season. It's like watching Hibs, to be honest.
And Joey, like I say, you kind of the big Liverpool fan. Am I right in saying you're 2 wins away now for the league?
Aye, 2 wins away. Just hoping and praying that we can get over the line. I just want to see them lift the cup.
Probably didn't even need 2 wins. They probably win the league by no winning another game.
Aye.
Like City will drop points and that. They've been inconsistent, but
as long as I see it like official, then I'm fine.
Did you see the German football played the crowd noise the other day?
That was fucking bad. Like, I was watching that and I was like, but did you hear in the pre-recording you could hear the ref's whistle?
Aye,
so,
no,
the game was still going and all I could hear was whistling and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And I was like,
There was a wee whistle every now and then, and I thought something was happening, and I was like, was that for? And the game kept going, and I was in the fucking noise. It was infuriating.
I didn't. There was like say bits with the whistles and things like that, which kind of teething problems. But I thought it was good they were doing something. It didn't make it feel more of a real game with some noise at least sort of piped in. No.
Why not just leave the football? Why not just leave the football? It's like the football is meant to be the entertainment. So just have the raw entertainment. Stop trying to feed us up. Is the football not entertaining enough that we need to hear?
No, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to keep my attention as much.
No.
And maybe it's because it's German football.
Bollocks, that's how.
Maybe it's because it's like I say German football. Like I say, I'm not invested in the teams as much. But so I'll kind of be able to tell more with the Premier League once it's back. But I'm just looking forward to having some sort of football, but some more football back and some more normality back.
Right, what a good one. Right. I was watching Paderborn versus Borussia Dortmund the other day, right? And it was 0-0 at half time.
Yeah, and you turned it off.
And then the bird went to me, you still want to watch this? Because I've been kind of going through the Taskmasters again. You watch Taskmaster?
Yeah, great show. Brilliant show.
That programme. So I'm going through it again because it's quite entertaining. Aye. And then I was like, I just put it on. So I put on something that I'd already watched, right? Rather than the football. And then I checked the score later on. But I didn't even check the score. I just was like going through Twitter. And then I'd seen it 6-1. And I was like, 6-2. Was it 6-1 or 6-2?
6-1.
And I was like, that can't have been that game. And then I went and checked. I was like, maybe it's for last season. I was like, something, what is that? And then it was that fucking game, missed 7 goals.
Aye. And like 5 of them were in like the last 10 minutes or something. It was crazy. It was a good 10 minute spell. You missed it.
Was it? Was it Gavin?
Aye. I hope you enjoyed Taskmaster.
Oh, I did. It was fantastic.
Right. Well, we'll finish up there, guys. Like I said, I know it's been a few weeks. It's going to be a bit more spontaneous, the podcast, unfortunately, because it's kind of a bit more difficult just now for topics. But yeah, we can have a chat about the transfer window. As I said, let us know what you guys want to see Hibs sign this window, and what youth players you'd like to see come in and sort of make up the ones from we don't sign. So, Stephen, we've done that joke.
You can never get enough of it, to be fair. Like.
Honestly, I'm starting to worry now. That's going to come back and bite us in the bum. There's going to be hearts, things sharing us, dancing to down, and it's not going to happen. But
can you imagine, right? First game back, full fans were allowed back, right? Easter Road, 20,000, right? We walk in, and what Big Ron's promised a big telly, and it's been installed. The guys have been in during Corona, safely put up this big screen, and then that song comes on, or the coffin song. On the big screen with the guys with the coffin, and the whole thing is going absolutely loudy. Can you imagine? Just play the coffin meme when I look.
I want that so much now.
I want that too. Unbelievable scenes.
Yeah. First game back, we'll need to mention that to Barry, the announcer, and make sure he plays that tune.
I think I would just start taking my clothes off. I wouldn't know how else to react, so I would just start taking random bits of clothes off. That's how it makes me feel.
No, I need it to happen. Yeah. Right. They're going to get away with it, though. They're going to get away with it. Anyway, right. So,
singing section back. No spoke about that.
I know. We never spoke about that. We can save that for the next podcast. We'll have a nice chat about that. That'd be good. It's kind of tough. It's tough to kind of say when that will be, but yeah, we can have a chat about that. So yeah, follow us at HFC Talk. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. All that nonsense. Keep safe. I will be back soon. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye. Thanks for watching, folks. We've got more videos you can check out. You can also follow us at HFC Talk, and why not subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, where we talk about Hibs, funnily enough. Cheers.